Now, from more than 16 years in the market, building CrossWorkers, and also dealing and communicating with startups, what is the mistake that you see? A lot of startup founders keep repeating this mistake over and over again.
I think one of the things which I am repeating too often is the wish to have control, the wish to know everything which is going on. And it's actually something that honestly I've had to try and push myself in that direction, saying, well, I basically don't want to know because that's not my job to know. It's somebody else's job to do that, and I have to trust them. Because if you don't trust people to actually do their own mistakes, then you will never develop them. And if you don't develop them, then you will just basically have a lot of employees where you're paying salaries, but you're not gaining anything from it. The whole idea in having employees is actually to gain more and get access to more brain power, more intelligence, and have that working for the company. So I think it's dangerous to when you start small, then you know everything what is going on.
Absolutely.
Every little detail.
Yeah.
And it's a jump when you need to basically tell yourself, well, there are things in the company which I don't know anything about, and that's actually a good thing. I remember when we started up, when we had people visiting customers, employees visiting customers and meeting them and trying to understand what they're actually working with and so forth. I was involved in any detail. I knew exactly when they would arrive in the airport and all that. And I had this experience where I was flying to Cairo, and then I walked towards the gate, and then suddenly I think there were 5 or 6 people jumping out and saying, "Hey, hello!" And that was actually some of our own employees who had been in Denmark to get a new task, and then traveling back to actually do the work. And I didn't even know they were in Denmark. That was really amazing, actually, to see, well, okay, things are working.
Yeah.
Without me knowing everything.
Yeah. And so when you hire someone, you think the best, let me rephrase that question. The main thing, so because we talked about trust. So trust is something you earn or something you give. And is it something that you can see in the people you hire, or is that something you figured out during the relationship working together?
Of course, with experience, you have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But I've made lots of mistakes in hiring wrong people for jobs also, and you have to accept that you do mistakes. Normally, I always basically try and find people with the right attitude. If you have a person with the right attitude, you can always direct new skills and teach them new things to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not, then you make a mistake, you don't see it. And other times you have somebody whom you say, well, okay, that employee is never really getting anywhere, and suddenly they bloom up like a sunflower. And that's just so amazing to see that when it happens.
So have you ever thought about if intuition could be enough to make a decision, or intuition needs to be backed up with some stuff? So the reason why I asked that question is, like, I really trust my gut feelings. So, like, sometimes all the data or like the answer is driving me in this direction, but my gut feeling is telling me no. And when I listen to this gut feelings, I feel like this is something that I really, really need to trust. So I don't know if in business we go with the same mentality or it works differently.
Yeah. But honestly, the most important factor for me when making decision either on hiring somebody or doing whatever is basically the gut feeling. And that's what is gut feeling. That's a number of things that you cannot explain.
Yes.
And the best way of illustrating that is actually taking one of the world's biggest companies within their field and tell you the small story. So most people know the company Maersk,
Yeah,
large Danish shipping company, container company.
Yeah.
Their main business is basically freight of containers, and they're really good at it. So when that decision was made, the owner actually gathered all his top people and was asking them, well, should we go away from doing bulk to doing container, because that was a whole new concept. Nobody was doing it. And the advice from most of the managers in the company was, no, don't do that. Stay where you are. But this the former CEO and owner of the company, he took the decision anyway. He said, well, we will go with containers. And that just changed the world of transportation on the sea.
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes you just need to go with that. But some people find that gut feeling is something blurry.
Yeah.
But it's actually just a way to kind of create a black box containing all sorts of impressions and so forth. And of course, with age, you get better in picking up things, seeing things that nobody maybe see or other people don't see. And that creates your gut feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a whole new perspective, or I would say, I don't know, but as you mentioned, it's just blurry. Like you can't, it's not something tangible that you can build a decision based on it, but it's really true.
Yeah, but and of course it comes in combination with boring spreadsheets and analyzes and interviews and all these things. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But in the end, there might be something which you don't see in the figures or you don't see in the reports, and then you basically make the decision based on what you feel.
Yeah.
And often it's right.
100%.